Hi guys, hi and welcome to this live discussion about Captain Marvel's controversy. And I'm sorry I started this a bit late. I wanted to talk about this topic for, well, pretty much a month now. And we are just right in front of, Shazam. That's gonna come out very soon. So all the talk and everything's already switching to Shazam, but I feel like there's a lot of things that are left, unsaid because I wanted to make a spoiler discussion with some of my friends that we used to do, before this kind of a hangouts and discussions, but that never happened. Unfortunately, we just couldn't schedule it because they're in America, I'm in Bulgaria. It just something happened. I would still like to do that, but it's kind of irrelevant now. But what I feel, is not irrelevant. It's the topics that spawned, you can say, out of Captain Marvel, what happened before the movie came out, after the movie came out, during the movie, so to speak, when that premiered. I mean, in that period of time, what the heck happened, and why I wanted to talk about with this guy. So, as you know, I'm not only doing trailer reviews, movie reviews, gaming, but I also like to talk about some topics that are very, very important. And I think that, my point of view as somebody that does not live in America could differ or just add to it, just to give you additional viewpoint on some of those issues or whatever you like to call them. Now, first, before I continue with this, and I'm also going to give you a chance to gather in the chat, of course, to tune into the stream. I'm briefly gonna hear how the stream sounds, and we are off, hopefully. You like to call them. Okay, you can hear me. That's great. So guys, I'm seeing that you're already gathering here in the chat. I'm very happy about that. Just before I had to hit the button for streaming. I poured a lot of water on me from my water bottle here, so I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And that is it, guys. So the topic today is, if you saw the title of the stream, the thing about Captain Marvel. So before the movie came out, as you know, Brie Larson came out and said some things that were not very awesome. I mean, she said stuff like, well, I don't like a lot of male and white, reporters, to do the interviews. I would like to have more people of different colors and all of that. I mean, I don't want to get a lot, that much into that particular thing. But basically, after that, she said, well, no, I rather have more seats on the table. Does not mean that other seats are excluded, for people that are white and male. But guys, it was basically what she was saying in the first place. So then she tried to get out of that. And sometimes, how I view this is, you can't just demand, let's say, to have people from particular race, to be your reporter, because maybe in that day, in those circumstances, they're just not as many. So you can't just be like, I'm gonna sit right here and I'm not gonna give any interviews before somebody that's sorry, I'm just like in a prima donna role right now. Somebody from a different color, skin color, does not interview me. I'm gonna sit right here. And that is so stupid. And basically that's how she sounded like, because she doesn't know how many people from what colors are working in those fields. So that's ridiculous. I mean, nobody's restricting anybody just because they have different skin color, to interview her. It's just if there are predominantly, I mean, most of the interviewers are male and white. That is just how it happened. It's not on purpose. So all of that was so not necessary and stupid in the first place. And hi, Arthur. Yes, I did had a great weekend. Thank you very much, and actually had a good Monday. Yeah, like never. I mean, some Mondays are not as bad. So yeah, so that was the first thing that mostly stood out from this start of the controversy around Captain Marvel. Then it was the trailers, how they showed hero, like it sounded like her hero or something like that. I mean, the way that they showed it on the trailer, I'm not sure now how that was. So they are like emphasizing that she's a woman, she's a woman, she's a woman. I'm like, okay, but let me tell you how things look for a perspective of a person that comes from Bulgaria. I mean, me. From my perspective, I come from Bulgaria, a country that is modern, it's Slavic, it's very ancient with very ancient history. And but we are, so far away from America, and we are like far away from some of the things that actually happening there, like in the terms of thinking. That we just have more, you can say that we just have very wide and very objective as much as possible view on how things are happening in America, all of that HJW way of thinking. I'm gonna explain to you how this all looks like from the outside, from people that are not in America, especially from a country that's very, very, very different. So I have to explain you, how I view things since I was, very little, basically. Um, and hi to Willem. Okay, that's very good, Willem. Hi, VLT. Uh, that is great. Okay, so I'm gonna read your comments real quick, guys, but then I have to continue with this because I'm just gonna lose my thoughts and just gonna forget what I really wanted to stress. Mm. I have a review of the movie, Willem. This is not a review. I already have my review. It was not spoiler discussion. This is going to be spoiler some. Whenever I need to say something about the movie, whenever I need to address something about the movie, I'm gonna probably talk spoilers. Um, okay, beauty. Uh, okay, so let me just get to the bottom of this, then we're gonna get to how you see things. So, guys, from a person that lives in Bulgaria, and from a person that actually grew up with a lot of Arnold movies, Sylvester Stallone movies, all of those, Die Hard with Bruce Willis. I mean, so many movies and TV series with guys being the hero and all of that. Then was Xena Warrior Princess, which of course, if you watch me long enough, you will know that is my favorite show of all time, and she's my favorite heroine and hero in general of all time. That is Xena. But I never viewed the fact that there are so many male heroes as a problem in any kind of a way. I never, felt like, well, is that exactly never, but I mean that this was never a problem. I just feel that that's okay. They have, dysfunction. They are heroes. They are good men. They're all of that. That's great. And no, that's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Now, when I first saw Xena, she was, totally different from anything that I've ever seen, and she is actually very different from every female character ever. She's just so unique. But the point is, guys, that uh, then I was like, well, now I have a woman that I can look up to, but that doesn't mean that I cannot look up to the guys and the heroes that I was watching. I still wanted to be them, to be brave, bold, strong, and everything like them. They still inspired me. I mean, I want to really stress that I point out that no matter if it's a male hero or a woman hero, you can always identify yourself with that person if they have qualities that you want to have, that you feel that you can possess, that you have maybe the potential, for them to develop them. So you're already possessing them, but you just have not tapped into that because you're either younger or you haven't had the courage yet to feel that way. Of course, we cannot. I'm not saying literally go and be some kind of a superhero. Of course not. That's not realistic. I'm saying to have greater qualities than regular people, so you can actually be wiser and do the best things that you can possibly do with yourself, be the best version of yourself. I mean, there's a lot of things and qualities of a superhero that embodies and hints and other qualities that you can actually apply in real life. You don't have to be actually, with all of that super strength and literal powers. You can just adapt their qualities as a character, as a person, and all of that, their strengths, how they learn from their mistakes. And there are so many things that could be said about this. So I don't think that I don't think that as a person, or as a male or a female, you have to be, tied up in one place, or tied up to your own gender or sex, and not be able to like or identify with a particular hero just because they're male or female. Because first of all, they are human. So, Captain Marvel is human, Xena is human, Superman is human. I mean, he's not human literally, you know what I mean. Uh, you can identify with Shazam if you like, if you find qualities that you like about him. You can apply that to your own character and life. So no matter the sex, I don't see, I mean, from the perspective again, to somebody that does not live in America, I do think that all of that happened with Captain Marvel, and probably gonna happen with other movies, all that controversy about male and female superheroes is just so unnecessary. It's just stupid. Why you have to emphasize all the time that this hero is female, it's female, it's female. Okay, I get that. uh, 20 years ago, there were not as many superheroes that are women, that there's this stigma that a woman could not be as strong. Well, this is, we're talking about super people that no matter if they're woman, male, sorry, male or female, they display strengths and powers that are way beyond anything that we ever seen, and that does not in any way, shape, or form connect to their sex, or does not connect to their biological power that we understand, the biological strength that normal men and women have. So stuff like strength and powers does not apply to them. They have, much more strength and power than a regular human being anyways, no matter of whether or not they're male or female. So if you get where I'm getting at, guys, I mean that, okay, in the 90s, there were not as many female superheroes, and that needed to be fixed somehow. I mean, there should be some kind of an equal representation of both, just because, it's great to have both. It's just great. It just brings another type of a thing. It brings it brings a variety of some sort. And why not? Why not? Female heroes can be heroes too in real life. Women do a lot of things that could be considered as highly heroic. There's a lot of women in history that did extremely heroic things, even in the army, even like going, in the undercover. There's tons and tons, examples in history of women doing amazing stuff. But that is not really the point, because again, we're talking about not really people here, so why not have them? And even if we talked about people again, why not have them? So if this was like normal, I mean, if America and the way that this was approached was normal, you know, the only thing that we're gonna see is just, more superheroes that are female are popping out, but nobody will really like point this out that there's so many, you know, women superheroes, and how they should represent women and all of that. That is stupid. I mean, a hero should represent everybody, no matter of which sex they are, like I said, and you should be able to identify yourself with that hero, no matter if they're, male or female. But because, I mean, not because, but if you find the qualities that you like in them, if you do that, there should be like no connection to their sex in any kind of a way, you know? So that is the point. That is what America, for some reason, does not see. So if we were like living in 2000, for instance, still, nobody would probably point this out. It's gonna be like, oh, Captain Marvel is coming out. That's fine. That's okay. That's awesome. Great. You're gonna have a movie. And Wonder Woman comes out. Oh, that's great. You have Wonder Woman. Nobody is gonna point out that Wonder Woman is a woman like 500 times, and nobody's gonna point out that Captain Marvel is a woman 500 times, because what what is the matter? What does it matter if they are? What matters is that they're existing, they're represented. I mean, because a movie is actually made for them. If I was like a movie producer, let's say, I'm just gonna make, if the decision was up to me, who of all the superheroes in the comic books should have a movie. I would be like, well, okay, let's make the superhero that people are interested in, for instance, or the people that I find that could be very interesting for the masses when it's made into a movie. Like, for instance, Captain Marvel, for me, is a very interesting character, and she deserves a movie for that reason, not because she is a freaking woman, just because she's a really interesting character, and I do really think that we should have her in the movie pantheon, or whatever you want to call it, in the Mount Rushmore superheroes. I think that she should be there. She's something very different to me, and I do see how she has layers upon layers that are just not as obvious like they are to other people. I mean, like they are with other superheroes. Like Wonder Woman is very, you can say, out there. I mean, very simple in the way that she has her code of honor. She's a warrior. She has particular principles that are very clear, and she makes them very clear. And she's very innocent and natural. So she just shows what she thinks, like all the time. Like just shows it. She's just being herself, in a very open way, where Captain Marvel, she has all of her emotions and feelings, but she has this anger behind her because she's been put down so many times in her life, and she find a way to get up and be stronger out of everything that is happening to her, not getting that, I mean, not letting that bring her and keep her down, but just, keep going and going and fighting and just becoming this better and better person, to the point where when she gets those powers, she's just like feeling like she had them for years, and she can just, use them. She has this, sense of everything that she's developed through the years, with all of that happened to her. And this could really happen in real life. You can really become stronger, tougher in every single way. You can develop this ability to, to when you see a different situation, when you have to do something, like for instance, if I'm working out and training, this is going to give me the physical awareness to maybe train another thing like athletic sports, like gymnastics, something else. You will have some kind of a, you can say, talent developing sense for your body better than a regular person that does not train, let's say. So when you have to try something else to develop different skills, you'll be more it's going to be more easy for you to get to that, to the next level, to the different kinds of sport, let's say, just because you already been training for years. Although it's different, you know the principles, you know how to apply, you feel how to apply, you know what you already know about your physique and how your body moves to the next thing, so to speak. I mean, this is not a perfect analogy, excuse my analogy if you don't actually understand it, if you cannot actually connect it to what I'm saying, but it's some kind of an example, so you can get what I mean. And that's my main point about how America thinks and how actually looks like from the outside. And I'm just gonna get back to your comments, we can discuss this. Hi Ivy. Hi Yavka. Hi to you guys. I'm just gonna return to your comments, we can discuss this together, guys. But this is what I really wanted to make a point across. Nobody is talking about that. Everybody is talking about, well, this is a scandal, this is a controversy. Well, why do we have this controversy in the first place? Can't we just like enjoy the movie, enjoy the character, enjoy what the world is becoming in terms of the fact that now we have the opportunity to have more movies with different heroes, be there, I mean, no matter if they're female or male, something that never was possible before. To have a Captain Marvel, Shazam, Captain America, freaking Captain America movie was not possible a few years ago. And I know that there's very old Captain America movie for from like the 90s. But you know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about a modern representation of all of those heroes that we always dreamed to have on screen. Like back when I was watching Spider-Man, animations, there was Captain America in them as well. The Beyonder, the Fantastic Four, all of that lore, all of those characters put together, it was amazing. So I always dreamed to have this in live action. And now we got a lot of that, and we're still gonna get more. So we just have to be happy for all of that development that we are getting, and not complain about or point out things that we should not point out. We just have to let them be. We have more superheroes that are female, that's fine. Don't point it out like every 5 minutes. And for Brie Larson, to be like, I want more not male and not white people to interview me, that's racist, Brie. That's very racist of you. You can't segregate people like that. You cannot say who to interview you just because they're white and male. If they are working, if, like I said, in that particular day that you're supposed to have an interview, they're just more people. I mean, the gist of the people, the majority of people that showed up for the interview are white and male. That's just how it happened. It's not because somebody is sitting on the door, of the room that you're about to be interviewed in and be like, not you, I don't like you. Oh, you're darker, not you. No, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. So you don't have to do this and then try to fix it because you made a huge mess and a controversy, and there's like a damage control police after you, like trying to sweep your crap, that you've made. That's ridiculous. Hi, Khan. Hi to you. So let me get back now to your comments. I'm done with my points. My first point. I did see Nikita. I was watching Nikita, even the old show, the new show. I like both, by the way. Both are very different, but I like both. I also watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer. So I seen Red Sonja from the Arnold movies. That was very old, and she's not a very good representation of a female character whatsoever, or is not like today. I mean, it's still backwards. Hi to Dark Dante. Hi to Victor. Okay. Yes, nobody should have any problems with gender and colors, and we should never segregate people based on that. If you do that, you're just racist for no reason. Hi to Ivy, of course, if I haven't said that already. Uh, Gary and Yale. Yeah, I wish I had that. I should have went Gary and Yale. It's gonna be something delicious, I can tell ya. Okay, I don't know. I mean, Captain Marvel is one of the strongest heroes in general. You have to tell me which are those that are stronger than her. I mean, and if you're trying to make any kind of a point, you're not making a very good point that they're males. That just sounds that is. I mean, the way that you made that point sounds that it's sexist now. Have in mind that all of those heroes, superheroes, are not, again, they're not thought out to be males stronger than females. That was never the case, even in the old comic books. There's a lot of women heroes or villains that are a lot stronger than half of the males, but that's not the point. The point is that they all have power, and the power is not like, I'm gonna eh, this hero is female. No, I'm power. I'm the power. I'm not gonna be in that person. No. Next one, male. Okay, I'm gonna be in that person, or I'm gonna be for that person. That there's no such thing. So you can, point out a lot of male characters that are weaker than her. You can point out a lot of like male characters again that are weaker than like another 10 male characters. That does not prove anything. That's not the point. And there is toxic feminism these days that is just not objective. That's the other thing. Means that's the reason for the controversy for this movie. It's toxic because it's not objective. It's once again sexist, but it's sexist towards men. So you cannot be sexist towards women, and you cannot be sexist towards men, because that would mean that you are not objective, not not to yourself, not to the other sex as well. You cannot do other of those things. But that is the other thing, that we here in Bulgaria, we do have real sexism. Still, we do. Some guys are still like for instance, at my workplace, one guy was playing against a girl on Jaga. Not sure how that is in English. It is the same thing, not sure. But they were playing against each other, and the girl was winning. And he's like, I'm gonna lose from a girl, no, like, well, okay, that is really sexist. And we still have this in Bulgaria. And the stupid thing is that there's no logic to his claim, to what he was saying. What does it mean if he loses from a girl? What makes her less than him in his mind, because this is just a game of Jaga. She has two hands, the same as him, and the game does not require additional strength. It just requires very good look at the table where the ball is, your reflexes, where your arms are, so you can react as quickly as possible, and you're not let for your opponent to make a goal, and you're trying to make a goal. So there's just no additional advantage that he's supposed to be having, unless of course he has more experience in the game, or he is better because he's just better, he has more talent for this game. There's no additional reason for him to think that because she's a girl she cannot beat him. That's stupid. Now if they had an arm wrestling match, of course he's going to beat her. But then, if we had this kind of a situation, he again is not supposed to say, "Oh well, you're a girl, ha ha ha." That is undermining her. That is disrespecting her. That is not correct behavior. No matter if she is a girl or not. If he were to do the same thing to a guy, still not gonna be okay. Still going to be some kind of a form of disrespect. It's not okay. So we have to know the difference between objective, real sexism, real trying to segregate the two sexes on purpose, and what is not objective and real and just forced. The toxic feminism right now is just forced and is not real. In America you don't really have such problems with with sexism that much. I mean, it's very reduced compared to what we have here. I still know girls, that are my friends or ex-girlfriends, that they have, men that treat them terribly, and they're really, really sexist. Like in every single word that comes out from their mouths is like something against women. Like it's all the time, like women this, women that. It's like they just popped out of nowhere, and they don't have a mother, and a man gave birth to them. Like no respect, anything, like whatever it is, no matter. I mean, a woman could be saving a life in front of them, and they'll be like, eh, but if same thing happened, like a guy was saving his life, I mean somebody's life in front of that guy, he would be like, ah, yeah. I mean, there's just no logic to that, just objective sexism here. And there's like countless other examples of this. Countless. So you two guys have to realize what is, real objective sexism and not. And what in America is, what happens, I mean, what is happening in America is not objective in any kind of a way. So that is the problem. And that is what poisons the minds of people and ruins our movies, when we have this stupid SJW stuff. And it's very serious, so it's not just like, oh, people just need to complain about something, like you say, Kamen, because it's really becomes a huge problem. If it bleeds in our movies, it's a problem. It really is. We no longer can have like a normal conversation between men and women. Everything has to be like a stupid, argument about something that is connected to that topic. Okay. Nikita the movie, I don't remember that. Sorry, I have not sure if I've seen that. I mean, it's a very old movie. Not sure if I caught on with that. Sorry guys. I'm trying to say a lot of things in a very short time. Yeah, actually, Ivy Ripley is a very good example of a great female heroine. Yeah, never issue. Okay. Yeah, Brie is another thing. But yeah, again with Ripley, back when I was used to watching all of those male movies with Arnold, with Sylvester Stallone, Bruce Willis, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and all of that. And when I watched like Alien with Sigourney Weaver, the main character, and she was a woman, I never thought, wow, she's a woman. No, I never thought that. Why? Why should I? Why should I, The normal thing to think in this case is, okay, a great movie with a great character. Because that is what it is. It does not matter if she's a woman or a man. Just it doesn't matter. She's a great character. It's a great movie. It's a great story. She's a person. She's a human. That's all that it matters. We always forget that we are first humans, human beings, the same species, and then we are male or female. We are human. When you're developing in the womb of the mother, you don't even know what you are. When you're growing up, you don't even care what you are. You are you. Your experience the world as just you. You're so pure. You know, when I was growing up, I wanted to be a boy at one point, just because it was like it was fun. I played with male toys because I just loved them. They were, you know, very good. I mean, very interesting. I loved, you know, I still have Iron Man as a toy, Spider Man as a toy. I played with those. That was my favorite, you know, action figures. Also had Hercules. So I just love that. And everybody were like, well, you're a girl, you should be playing with Barbies. And I'm like, ew, I don't like Barbies. I mean, I really don't. I really don't. They're icky. I mean, you know what I mean with that hair and everything? I just prefer good old action figures and Lego and, you know, this kind of things. And I have a lot of cars. It was just more fun. So I didn't care that I was a girl. I didn't think like, oh, I'm a girl. I'm gonna be sorry for myself. I'm not gonna play with what I want. I'm just so stupid. I play with what I want. I was very happy with them. I still have here on my shelf now Superman statue, Iron Man, actually, Superman action figure, Batman action figure, Captain America action figure, Xena action figure. I have that. Yeah, that's great. So always think that you're a human being, and then you think, well, I'm a man or a woman. Sorry about that, guys, but you know that if I'm talking that much, I have to drink my water. Okay, next. I'm gonna get to your comments. Okay. Well, to this point, I hope that you got my point. Ah, football, table football. Okay. Identity politics, when put into movies out of this context, are just turning everything into a political act. Yeah, like a drama. Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Okay, little. Absolutely. Juvenile, yeah, that's juvenile behavior, absolutely. Yeah, Nikita was also very huge, by the way. And we had series like, damn it, Beastmaster. But Beastmaster is another topic. I meant to say Sheena. Sheena, yes, that was very good series. And Relic Hunter, Sydney. You know Cindy from Relic Hunter. Um, that actress that plays her, she's amazing. Damn it, how was her name? Relic Hunter. Ah, yes, Tia Carrere. Amazing. I mean, if you watch Relic Hunter, like who can forget Tia Carrere? She's awesome actress. And again, never thought for a second, oh wow, she's a woman. Oh, what I'm gonna do with myself now. I just loved her in the show. It was a great show. That's just that. It's a great show. There was a very funny line one time with her and Xena. I mean, they were talking about Xena and they kind of compare her to Xena. I mean, she's not Xena, obviously. But she was pretty courageous. She was like another version of Lara Croft. It's very interesting. I mean, she's very different from Lara Croft. She was her own thing in the way that, you know, Nathan Drake is his own character. It's not like, I mean, he's not like Indiana Jones. So it's just amazing. But of course, all those amazing shows were stopped. So we had stuff, we had shows. Charmed, one of the best shows with female characters. Again, never thought, okay, they are female. It was just a great show. One of the most, you can say, sense. I mean, in terms of how everything, you know, really touches you, and literally how it makes sense in terms of human perspective. Even though it was like magic show, you know, about magic, how real they were as characters, their relationship, how it happened. all the demons, all the stories, so intriguing, just so real, you know. It had such a substance that just today's shows does not have. Today's shows are just like fast food, as you know, just like consuming very fast, and you do not want to see an episode again, just don't care, just consume that, you know what's gonna happen, and that's it. Of course, we have amazing shows like Game of Thrones, Vikings, but the point is that you can't really watch an episode like 5, 10 times, whereas I can watch Xena episode or Charmed episode like so many times, and it will not get bored. Like, even sometimes I understand more and more and get deeper and deeper into all of that amazing soul of it, you know, the sense of it, I mean, I realize even more things about it, about life, about totally other things. It's just so cleverly done with so much soul, heart, and soul. So yeah, that's another thing. But I'm just saying that all of those people just that made those shows, all those talented writers and directors and the actresses themselves, they weren't like, oh, we are women, or oh, they are women, and nobody was like that. They just made a great show. Nobody had to mention all of this, you know, because you don't need to. And like Buffy ran for so many years. It's not my favorite show, but there's so many iconic stuff from it and episodes and things that people will always remember, you know, till they're dead. So uh, you cannot replace these quality, substantial stories and shows and characters, and you just never think to yourself, "Oh, there were women." It's just great, and that's it. That's all there is to it. It's just great. It's objectively awesome, and that's perfectly fine. Um, yeah, I really Hunter Ivy. Yeah. Oh, the Mortal Kombat show. Yeah, it wasn't on that level, but still made memories. You know, it's still one of those things that we're like, cherish those things. Um, yeah, and plenty shows. Yeah, of course. The Nanny was my favorite comedy show, but The Nanny is a comedy show. But just saying, you know, it's just so funny. And Married with Children, Friends, that's another topic entirely. But yeah, I made my point about this. What I wanted to say, so about the movie particularly, you know, there's a scene where, you know, Captain Marvel is reading a map, and one guy is like, "Hey, baby," or something like that, you know. Um, he's like, "Wanna help you with that?" or "Take a ride." I don't remember what exactly it was. Oh no, he was like, "Oh, smile, smile," and she just, you know, looks at him and continues to look at her map. And some people say like, "Oh my gosh, this is so HJW." Well, this exactly is not in this case, because, you know, in that time when Captain America was taking place in the 90s, those things are like common, so they're just representing the period, and that is totally appropriate for the period that, you know, the movie is in. That can happen today in Bulgaria and a lot of other countries as well. You know, me personally, I'm told to smile sometimes 5 times a day. I mean, it's I mean, the person that tells me to smile, it's a very nice German guy that could be my dad, but he's just doing it because he just wants me to be more upbeat, you know, to not be like so grim at my desk, like, you know, and that is why he does that. He has a great sense of humor, and he's just trying to cheer me up, like literally. And he always does, you know, he always makes me laugh. So that is not this case, but there's a lot of other cases that for real, you know, men are just using women for something to, I mean, like a trophy or an object that they want to be there for their visual pleasement, and just, you know, to enjoy the looks of them, the looks of that particular woman or women or all of that. So they're gonna be like, "Oh, smile for me," you know. They just want the woman to be like a robot that does whatever they tell her to do. So that is just that is still something that does exist. Such attitude from guys does exist still, some guys. But there's a name for that. There's, jerks, idiots, imbeciles, morons. There's a lot of jerks, imbeciles, morons in this world, but there are also female sometimes, there's male jerks and morons, there are female jerks and morons. So you cannot say that there's only the guys or only the girls. Both sexes have so many similarities, more than some people even think of. We have the same weaknesses, sometimes we have the same flaws, sometimes, and the same character traits even. And I've seen like countless examples, countless, of that. So yeah, there are still some guys that are truly sexist, that truly hate women, or they just do not hate women, but they do see women as objects. There are, unfortunately, there are. Most of the times those are guys that are not realizing, uh, you know, even themselves, they don't have very good awareness of who they are, what they want out of life. They have very high self-esteem that does not have any coverage, any basis at all. But those are people that are just, not developed intelligently, in an intelligent way enough. And again, that could happen to women as well. Women can be also very simple in that regard. So, the point is, we must not judge everybody because some are still behind. We must not. It's not objective, guys. We should love, respect people based on their qualities, character traits, how they are, who they are as people, how they treat you, how they treat other people. You know, if a person is with intelligent and they have respect in themselves, they know who to give respect to. If they're, you know, literally developed enough in terms of their mind, you know, they are just gonna be quality people, and you're gonna know them, and they will never be disrespectful to somebody, no matter if they're a woman or a guy or a man. I mean, they will never be disrespectful without any reason. They will never be not objective towards somebody because they have conceived notion, some kind of a prejudice towards, other person because their sex, their color, their whatever. Uh, so if a person is intelligent, there will never be all of those bad things. So therefore, you should try to not deal with people that are not intelligent enough to get you, to give you the respect that you're also available and capable of giving to them. You just do not communicate with this kind of people. They should grow and learn, in their own pace and time. If they can, they're just gonna be left behind eventually, and everything that's gonna be happening to them, is going to be because of how they act, because of, their own lack of qualities and lack of understanding or desire to be better. So yeah, just that. But if we go by how America is going by all of this, humanity is going to be very much behind instead of going forward, because they're trying to insist on being sexist towards the guys now. They're trying to be, the other word, racist towards the white people now. Again, for no reason. They're trying to do all of those segregation for no reason, instead of just, all of us trying to, just be ourselves, communicate with people that we just want to communicate with, not being forced to do it. not being blacklisted if we don't want to be in contact or communicate with somebody that's, we just don't like, no matter if they're black, white, yellow, whatever. So everything should be based on people's qualities and character and not based on the other things. So that is why lines like "I want only white people to interview me" is just ridiculous, stupid, backwards, and should not happen in modern times. You're just harming everything, just segregating and harming everything. Now let's get back to your comments. Just gonna say again, I saw one apparently black girl that decided to do ancestry test to see, if she's from African American descent. She did that only from her mother's side. It turns out that from her mother's side she was European, white, and she was extremely upset on camera. She almost cried. So imagine if that happened, if some white person, visually white, finds out that their ancestry is black, if they start crying and weeping, how can I be black, where, that's gonna be super racist and everybody's gonna point that out. But because this girl is visually more black than white, everybody like fine with it. But it's not fine. You cannot be so upset that your ancestry is from Europe. That's fine. Whatever your ancestry is, that is what made your appearance, your genes. You just should be accepting that and like, okay, I mean, it's done deal, whatever. You cannot do anything about it now. You should not be upset about it. If anything, it's gonna make your DNA richer. But you know what I mean, guys. Those double standards in both sexism and racism just have to stop, like, right now, because it's ridiculous, it's pointless, it does not make any sense, and it's backwards, like extremely backwards. Oh, Mutant Next. Yes, Mutant Next with Victoria Pratt. She is also from Xena. That's amazing. Victoria Pratt was my favorite mutant from that show. VIP, I watched that. Great show. Dark Angel, never saw that. Andromeda, one of the best shows Kevin Sorbo ever did, and one of his most famous roles after Hercules. Witchblade, never saw that. Sanctuary, never saw that. Okay, just recapping that. I thank you for getting me, Ivy. I know that you're always gonna get me. You know how I think. Theater checklist. I think what you are talking about revolves about, you mean around, someone's ego not respecting others is connected tightly to you thinking you are better than them. It can be the same with men and women. No, ego is one thing, entirely, but what I was talking about, it's real sexism and real, it's literally real sexism. I have a lot more examples about that. Like, for instance, I'm with my friends on her birthday, no less, and we were watching Devil Wears Prada, and her man is like, ugh, women are such, like, what's the word for that? I forgot the word that he used exactly, but it was like monster, but even worse than monster. It was worse. In Bulgarian is freak, izrut, freak, such freaks. And he said that just because he didn't understand the movie, and he was seeing one woman. I mean, the main Helen Hunt, I think, was the main actress that was the bad one. in the movie, and he's like, women are such freaks, and like, what? I mean, yeah, okay, she's a boss, she's a very bad boss, I know how that is like. Um, but why women are freaks? Because of that movie, because of that character? Do you know how many people are like that, no matter they're women or men? Do you know how many evil, really evil? Because she was not like really evil, she was just like damaged from life, as far as I remember. And Anne Hathaway's character was seeing her, of course, through this lens that she's very bad, but it's not because she's a woman, it's just because uh, what she went through as a human made her that way. Her character was not strong enough to sustain her goodness, so to speak. So that is what happened, but that is not because she's a woman, that is just because what happened to this person that happens to be a woman. But he cannot comprehend that in any other way. The other examples are like, we're going on a coffee, not anymore, for years, but before. We're going for a coffee. He does not say hi to the girls, never. He does not say goodbye to the girls on the table, never. He just like sits down, talks only to the guys, and that's it. Never says hello. And other examples, like, believe me, there's a lot more examples, and not only from this guy, other guys. It's just ridiculous. Okay, next one. So yeah, you can have this ego and being a complete asshole because you're egotistic. But when you're constantly saying bad things about the other sex just for no reason, nobody asked you. You're just like sitting and blab about this, like, like, bring up whatever topic it is. That guy's gonna say, women, for some reason. For some reason. He just has a lot of problems. I mean, in terms of his intelligence, but that's another, yeah, just a lot of problems. Yeah, each one has a story. Yeah, exactly. It goes against what they think they're promoting. They're actually working towards worsening the issue, because if we didn't have that, now all the men gonna be like, okay, Captain Marvel movie came out, whoop-de-doo, that's great, and they're never gonna be like, oh, she's a woman, she cannot do anything. But now, because it's pointed out that she's a woman 500 times, they're gonna be, okay, she's a woman. I mean, if they're not sexist, they're gonna be sexist if they cannot think straight. And people are very easily persuaded in one opinion to the other if they did not develop objective or critical thinking. And let's face it, a lot of people did not. So it's very easily to manipulate people that way. So instead of just thinking normally, it's just bad. And I've seen a lot of guys, by the way, that when they having a kid, like a young boy, they're still like, you can't let a girl beat you, like if a girl and a boy are playing in the garden or something. And again, that's very bad influence from the fathers, to their sons, to, make this, preconceived notion that there should not be, that women are so much weaker, so they should be like, oh my god, I should not have like a girl beat me. It's like they're super unconfident in their own selves, then they're unconfident about their masculinity. So they feel so threatened to not be beaten by a girl. That's so stupid. That means that you do not respect a woman's qualities or girl's qualities, doesn't matter, the same thing. That you do not respect, or think that she can do anything at any time for any reason. You think that only a guy should do the things or just beat every time because he is a guy. And you're teaching your son that, and he does not have any preconceived notions. He's not prejudiced towards the girls. He's just in the garden playing with them like he would if there were guys. And girls are the same, they're just playing with the boys because they're all kids. That is how it should be. Damn it. it should not be ever brought up that because somebody is a boy or girl, they should not do something, or they should not be allowed to do something. You know, when I was growing up, I did say that before, but a lot of guys that you are watching me now, you did not hear that before. So when I was growing up, my father was like, "Oh, you don't know English. You don't know English." And I knew English since I was 12, and I learned it myself, like all by myself, by myself for less than 1 year. Of course, I was continuing learning it since then because language is something that you learn always your whole life, even your own language. You can always make it richer, of course. So I was, I already knew English. I could translate songs, I could speak, I could write. I was way above the middle level after the first year because English is just something that just comes from inside. I always had very huge not infinity, sorry, it's very late, I'm starting to confuse words, but very knack for it, like a talent for it, like literally English. It was very close to me. So I understand it perfectly. I just watching cartoons, understood everything, just started actually talking myself, writing. It was very fast process. So I didn't have anything to do during school because I knew everything. I already done with all my textbooks and everything else. I didn't have anything to do. But anyway, that's another topic. I'm just saying that even then, when I had all my grades, my father was like, "You don't know English, that's stupid. You're imagining that you know English." Like, he never believed that I knew English. And when I actually started doing things in English, started talking with people from all around the world, I was, well, a lot of other interactions, anyways, proved that I know English. And he was like, okay. I mean, he didn't say anything. He was just not acknowledging even the fact that he was like totally wrong. And there was countless other examples like, nah, why train? You're a girl, like why train? Like, what do you mean why train? And that comes from a guy that was very buff and muscular. Like, why train? All the health benefits that, all of this, all of that, longevity, dens increased density of the bones. There's so many things that people actually don't know about training and the benefits of it. It's not just about the physical appearance, you know, it's so many other things that nobody, like general population, does not know and doesn't care to know. And he even trained, and he didn't know half the things. He just didn't know. He still thought that protein is like steroids or something. It's ridiculous. So I'm like, what the heck? What the heck? I'm speechless. I'm getting this attitude from my dad. He's so backwards. It's ridiculous. So there's so many examples of that, like you can't do this and that because you're a girl. It's so stupid. And I went and did them anyway. I went and proved myself anyway. I went and achieved stuff anyway. You know? So this kind of a thinking is just, it's really toxic. That's the real toxic thinking in the world. That's the real thing that can stop and discourage somebody to be what they want to be, to develop themselves. As I was a weaker character, if I didn't had anything in me that I developed myself, I wouldn't have the strength to continue even. You can be really, really, you can get really, really depressed by all of that. If you're actually listening to people, if you're not believing in yourself, but if you really have objective, um, you know, appreciation, but not appreciation, objective look, of yourself, of your abilities, that you actually know that you can do things, you can very easily just develop that and prove to yourself and to everybody else that you can actually, yes, you can, yes, you do have those talents, yes. Yes, freaking yes, it exists. It exists. So, when I was a girl, I just, little girl, I didn't think that I was a girl. People don't think about those things. I just thought that I was something, You know, a little person in the world, wanted to play, wanted to explore things, wanted to learn new things, wanted to invent things even, you know, come up with stuff. And when I started to come off of all the norms that I knew, you know, when I started to think out of the box, I actually started to create and do things that nobody else knew, nobody else was doing in terms of my drawing, because I'm an artist, drawing paint, do other things. You know, started writing poetry, started, you know, writing even a play, different, you know, fictional tales that were very good. Teachers were amazed. All of that came from me, and if I was allowing to be repressed, if I was allowing myself to be, you know, taken down by all of those words that I cannot do anything, or I shouldn't be doing this and that because it's stupid, or I don't know English, where in fact I do, then what would have become of me? Like, absolutely nothing. I wouldn't get my job. Like, not, you know, I would not have, you know, a designer. I mean, one of my jobs was a designer of different items, let's say. So I got that through my own abilities, that I never went to any courses for that. I learned it all by myself, and that's another thing that my dad was like, why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? Just no point to that. I'm like, how do you know? There's no point to that. What did you achieve? What did you achieve, Dad? Like, show me what did you achieve, you know? Uh, I don't want to get into my own personal life, but just another example of, you know, parents, how they want the best for you, but they're like just so close-minded that they just don't know how you will get the best. They just want you to be alive, and that's enough. Just ridiculous. Very, very small thinking. Very small thinking. Enough about me. Just want to give you example, because when I reviewed Captain Marvel, I did say that a lot of things that she went through, how they played out, of course not the same, but very similar situations that led to very similar, uh, you know, desire and strength and mindset that she created, because all those things that happened to her because she was underestimated. That's all real. That is really real, and could happen to a lot of girls that grew up in the countries that I grew up in, or grew up with, between the parents that have this kind of a mindset, or at least my dad. So, you know, it's just relevant to me. This movie is just relevant to me. Again, not just because she's a woman, but just because that whatever happened to her, how it happened, how she was underestimated and treated, that is what happened to me in a lot of real life, converted, you can say, situations, that is as close as possible to what happened to her. Yeah, and I even, because when we say, sometimes, you know, there's some cases where a girl can beat up a guy, like literally beat up a guy, threw him out, let's say, of something, like physically pick him up and threw him out. That also is something that I did do. You know, sometimes I had to defend myself against guys physically, had to fight physically, and I did manage to escape, you know, from those situations and defend myself and break out physically. So sometimes, even in the physical aspect, you cannot underestimate a girl, and you should not. You don't know a person and what they're capable of based on their sex sometimes. Yes, of course, physically, you know, women are, the majority of women are weaker than guys. There's some cases where women are stronger than men, but that is, you know, very rare cases where a particular men are just, you know, they're so not athletic, they have so lower bone density, they're just very weak, and they are weak compared to their peers, compared to even women sometimes. And some women have more bone density, they're more athletic, and they're stronger. That's rare cases. But still, there are such cases. Everything is possible in the world, and you never know who is against you. So the guys that I had to beat up in my life, they never knew who was against them. They're just looking at this very tender looking girl and they're like, nah, I can do whatever I want with you. And I'm like, okay, you know. And that was that. So everything is possible. You should never underestimate anybody because their race, their sex, their skin color, yeah, race, sex, whatever it is. You should not. So it's the only thing that I want to say. I cannot talk anymore. I'm just gonna read your comments. I'm gonna stop talking because it's very exhausting. Okay, catching up, guys. Be patient. And just don't want to miss anything that you said. Okay. Just a sec. Okay. Hey Caleb, hey Arnold. Blockages here. Wow, I missed a lot of things. Wait, guys. Wait. Well, sorry that happened to Willem. Like I said, there are different cases of that thing with the smile. Like, smile. Yeah, well, we are not pinpointing. I mean, what do you mean about the root? The root is just something that is going on for years. I mean, it's passed on to generation of generation to the next generation. Is what I was saying about, you know, a young father telling his very little son not to be not to get bitten by a girl just because she's a girl. So that is still happening today, and he was taught the same way by his father, and his father was taught the same by his father. So that is something that is just, you know, transferred through the generations, and that it was never like really corrected, at least not here in Bulgaria. Again, some people are not like that, but most of the families that I've seen, at least, are like that still. So the root is somewhere far, far away in history. And the problem is that we're still passing it on. Oh, thank you very much, Caleb. Yep, the Temple of Iron is here. uh, yes, some guys, well, that's another topic about guys being awkward. They can be awkward, having a lot of complexes, insecurities, so they be like bitter against women. That's another you know, topic on itself. Sometimes when I see a guy that is very, you know, nervous to talk to me or something like that, I'm just trying to make them feel, you know, better, you know, easier to talk to me, because I'm usually very easy to talk to. I'm very open, you know, so to speak, very open, you know, in the way that I have this empath kind of ability, sensitive to how other people feel and think. So when I see how a guy, if a boy, let's say, is very nervous around me because he feels that he's somehow unworthy to talk to me or something like that, but I see that they're very good people. I'm just trying to make them feel better by, you know, just being myself and talking to them like they're a real person, which they are, and not having to, I mean, and just proving to them that they don't have to feel that you know, they don't have to feel nervous around me at all, because I get them, I get where they're coming from and how they feel, and I just want to make them feel better. I feel for them, I feel for, you know, how, I feel how they're feeling, you know, I feel what they're feeling, so I understand, you know, their mindset, and I don't want them to feel this way. It's uncomfortable for me to know that somebody is, you know, having this in them that's, you know, keeping them tight in a way, to this kind of an insecurity. Just be yourself, just talk to a person, be like open to them, because like what is the alternative if you're like very tight? How can you even communicate? You're not gonna make any situation better. So just be, you know, more yourself. And yeah, that's the best that I can say. Basically, you'll be very more, very much, you'll be appreciated, and your value is gonna shine through when you show that you're confident in yourself, that you can just speak to a girl, you know, being yourself, not be over the top, too less, too much, or something else. So just be yourself. mm, I mean, we're talking about normal conversations here. We are not talking about like trying to pick up somebody, but even in the context, if you like a girl, you're trying to, you know, make her, pick her up, make her your girlfriend, let's say, you still have to be yourself. And yeah, but you have to also realize to, the person that you're up against, who are you talking to? If she is like me and she's trying to consciously make you feel more comfortable just because of your sake, you know, so you can feel better, so you can see that there's nothing to be afraid of. Just talk to person to person, like not a guy to a girl, just person to person. That's gonna make the whole interaction a lot more real and genuine, and you don't have to, and you will see that you don't have to be nervous about anything. Just normal person to person talk, behavior, and then you will see if you have like something between you spark or not, if that's the purpose, you know. If you're just trying to make conversation about anything, to make a friend or anything like that, just again the same thing, be yourself. But if you're trying to talk to a girl that's very like, oh my gosh, the whole world revolves around me, I'm super like over it, duh, you know, if you're trying to talk about a girl that's like that, like very artificial girl, like we say in Bulgaria, a kifwa, which basically means a girl that's like a croissant, very pompous, very like snobby, very over the top, you know, then of course you're just not directing your attention to the right girl. You're directing your attention to somebody that, yeah, no, is so artificial and superficial that she does not care of anything that you have to present her or say, or she does not have the possibilities, capabilities, the talent, the potential to value anything rather than her makeup and her phone, for instance. So some guys, they're just, you know, want to make conversation, to approach a girl, but they're like approaching the wrong kinds of girl. You know, they're approaching the stupid ones, and they're expecting like good outcomes. Just not gonna happen. So just, if you want a girl that is like you just have to look for a girl that's like you, in terms of, you know, mindset, similar tastes, similar, you know, value system, and all of that. Well, yeah, I'm glad actually about the success of the movie. Mm, because it's a really good movie. It just is. All of those things that happen in the movie, like I said, were appropriate for the time, so it was not like in your face bad. Mm. Thanks to Geek Prime X. Thank you. Hope you like those streams. Um, Yeah, yeah, William. Yeah, sometimes mothers tell similar things to their daughters too, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, if there's no support from the environment around you, it could be extremely tough. I mean, I've been alone all my life in that regard. I didn't have any friends that were like me, any girlfriends, um, anybody that's even closely sharing my viewpoints, my way of thinking. I only found that, or something close to that, at least, intelligent people. I mean, intelligent enough people that understand what I'm talking about, and even though if they're not artistic or creative or anything that I am exactly, they do have strives to do more in their lives to accomplish something more. They do understand how expression of oneself is very important. They do understand how development in any shape, way, or form that you can achieve in this life is so important. How you can give back when you actually develop yourself. How can you inspire people, to be better versions of themselves. So when you develop yourself, you're more useful to society altogether. Yeah, I only found that later in life, unfortunately. I mean, but what to do? It's just rare to find people that actually, put some thought into something more than what I'm gonna eat today and should I smoke cigarettes now? What is the next thing that I should do? I mean, in terms of something that's very basic and probably bad for your health. I mean, some people don't even think about what they eat, but they should. But I mean, they think about the trivial things more than they think about the things that actually matter. And food does matter, don't get me wrong. I just gave bad example there. Mm, okay, going through your comments really okay because I really have to go. It's very late, damn it. Higher, further, faster, baby. I really like this line from the movie because actually it means a lot more. You always have to, you know, try to go higher in life, further, and faster would mean in this case, you just have to be more efficient than anybody else as much as possible. Thanks, Geek Prime. And yes, blockage. Yes, we are all equal, exactly. Okay, thanks, Kamen. Well, thank you, blockage. Thank you, Abby, yes. Well, thank you, Arnold. Thank you guys for everything. Well, that's going to be my stream for tonight. If you have my time, of course, is 11:34. I have to go. Uh, well, William, every guy is different. I can't tell you how all guys are feeling. Well, I can tell you most guys how they're feeling when they talk to me and look at me. I can really feel that. Some guys really cannot hide how they're feeling when they're talking to me in person. Actually, they get really shy, or awkward really quick. Some guys, and some guys just admire me a lot. I mean, they show that they admire me a lot, which of course is just great. I mean, I appreciate just the positiveness. And yeah, I mean, yeah, I do realize that some guys are looking at me in a different way. But I mean, I went through a lot of things. I mean, I had a lot of different cases. You can say, the guys that are good and respectful, um, that's another topic. I mean, some guys, if they are just very natural in the way that they express emotion, they will not hide exactly they cannot hide, on their face, their expression, their body language, how they perceive me. But some other guys, let's say they can, so they act in a different way with like a humor or something else. That those are the guys that are trying to be more confident. There's some guys that are just very shy. There are some guys that you just so awkward that you're just like, what is happening here? And of course, there's the guys that just looking at me not with respect and like piece of meat. So there's a lot of cases, things, happenings, encounters. Yeah, long topic. I really will lose my voice now if I continue talking. So yeah, but I appreciate all the other guys that are true and real people, and I always love and respect them for that. Blockage, I don't know what you are referring to. Are you referring to the first time that we saw each other live? Because that was great. That was really fun moment. And that was very, fun. Hmm. Thanks, Kamen. Um, I really appreciate you as well as a viewer, everything that you're watching. Even if you just, put the stream like to sit somewhere, I appreciate it. Even if you're not listening to me, it's still a support. So I really appreciate it. And by the way, today I was recognized live. So that was very good. I mean, it happened to me a few times now that I was recognized somewhere. People say that they watch me. I'm like shocked, and I just can't believe it. It's like surreal. I mean, somebody's like, "Oh, I'm actually watching you on your YouTube channel." I'm like, "Really? Okay." I'm just like so humbled by it. I'm not. I don't think I'm gonna get used to that. Blockage, whatever you say, it's so great and awesome. It's real. That's most important, guys. I'm gonna close this stream by saying, just make a difference from what is real and what is not real in life. Try to divide uh, what is mostly quality, what is not. So try to see and to make a difference between what is genuine and what is not genuine. So just try to keep and treasure that is what is genuine and true, and that's what is most important. Ah, okay, Afka, that's great. I know what you're doing there. Yeah, it's cool. It's cool, Kaman, yeah. I must say this. Yeah, it's tricky realm. It's very hard to succeed here, but no matter how many people I touch with my words, with what I can give you guys as what I've learned so far, my viewpoints that I think that are rather different than most. I also appreciate that. So although I'm not touching as many as I would want to, we are still growing in numbers. So it's not without any reason for me to be doing this. So whatever this topic is about, whether it is a movie, like somebody may think that it's very trivial, movie, game, there's something that is a lot more substantial that we can learn from it. We can, take from it, learn from it. I am just losing words now because I'm very tired, but you get my point. Trying to get the best of everything to learn, the most of what you can, and to appreciate that, and to not be like, oh, I help just small, like small, circle of people. You still change lives, you still help, you still contribute somehow, some way. So I'm gonna continue pushing, continue trying to, you know, do the best that I can here for the time that I have, and give you what I can from me, guys, to make somehow you and your life even better. If I can, even make you think, how can you internally make you the best version of yourself. That's enough. I just can't talk anymore. You get my point. You get my point. So next topic that I really want to talk about in that regard is about fitness, the fitness industry in Bulgaria also, and what is wrong with the fitness industry, how information is presented, and how everything is about profit and not actually learning. I mean, teaching the people to be independently, bettering themselves, and all the trainers are making people be dependent on them completely without, actually teaching people, sorry, about how they can learn everything so they can be completely independent and helping themselves, training themselves, not be, like tied up to a trainer or a program or something that is always going to cost them money instead of learning everything, teaching them how to learn everything so they can apply to their own life and be independently, sustaining themselves on their own. That is much more important. So that is what I really want to talk to you about, guys, next, and I can help you with that. Yeah, so that's it, guys. Thank you. Have a great night, sleep well, have a great Tuesday. Until next time with me, Kirichi Reviews. Thank you, Abby, Lokic, Kamen, Arnold, Willem, Geek, everybody. Thank you. Thanks, Blockage. Thank you, Abby.